Congratulations, class of 2020. Your journey to this moment is one that you, your friends, and family will never forget. You should be proud. You've handled the challenges that have come your way with a combination of perseverance, confidence, and grace. Please know that your community has rallied to let you know you're a very special graduating class and that we here at FCPS recognize your achievements as seniors. You join young people across the nation right now who are graduating under the shadow of a global pandemic. But I know that you are stronger for it, wiser for it, and you are kinder for it as well. The world is changing, and we're looking to young people like yourselves to lead us into the future. I am truly excited about the opportunities that await you. Go out into the world and embrace all it has to offer. Find your joy. And now I leave you with the words of Ralph Waldo Emerson. My wish is that you will find comfort on difficult days, smiles when sadness intrudes, rainbows to follow the clouds, laughter to kiss your lips, sunsets to warm your heart, hugs when spirits sag, beauty for your eyes to see, friendships to brighten your being, faith so that you can believe, confidence for when you doubt, courage to know yourself, patience to accept the truth, love to complete your life. Congratulations on your graduation, class of 2020, and I wish you all the best on your next great adventure.
Hi, I'm Karen Keys-Gamara.
I'm Rachna Sizemore-Heiser.
I'm Abrar Omesh, and we're your 3 at-large members on the Fairfax County School Board.
And we're here to say
congratulations to the class of 2020.
We are so incredibly proud of you. And we know that you worked hard. So whether you're going to trade school or taking a gap year or going to college, we're really expecting you to change the world.
We have been so impressed at your resilience in this time of chaos and your ability to find togetherness in moments of isolation. We know what you have lost is not trivial, but we also believe that when we come to the other side, you will be one of the greatest generations we have ever seen. We can't wait to see what you will do.
From virtual learning, sleepless nights, and all the friends and memories, we're counting on you to take notes on the needs in our world and to think of where your mark is going to be. We can't wait to see the legacy you leave in our history.
Congratulations.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and welcome to the Non-Traditional School Program's 2020 Commencement Ceremony. Continuing in the Non-Traditional School Program's tradition, we have planned a dignified ceremony that reflects the esteem in which we hold our students. I want to thank you for joining us on this very special occasion. Though we are not in the same room, we are fortunate that we can all share this moment together to honor and celebrate our students' accomplishments. I know for many of you, this is not the senior year that you envisioned, but I want to praise all of you for your hard work, dedication through these difficult times. You have overcome challenges and to be here today, and I hope that you feel the same pride in yourselves that we feel in you. We want to say congratulations to you, your family, your friends, and all the 2020 graduates.
Ms. Knox, honored guests, family, friends, faculty, and graduates. We will now begin our ceremony with the playing of the National Anthem. Gentlemen, if you would please remove your hats. We also ask you remain standing for the reciting of the Pledge of Allegiance by Alex Enos.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, by liberty and justice for all.
Parents, family, friends, and the graduating class of 2020, congratulations. I am Allison Cordo, Assistant Administrator for Interagency Alternative Schools and this year's graduation coordinator. I am honored to introduce several distinguished guests celebrating this great accomplishment with you. These men and women have done much to guide you throughout your education and help you plan your futures. They have all helped in some way to make this day possible for you. Jennifer Knox, Administrator, Interagency Alternative Schools. Teresa Johnson, Assistant Superintendent, Department of Special Services. Kate Salerno, Coordinator, Non-Traditional School Programs. Brandon Moorhead, Assistant Administrator, Interagency Alternative Schools. Dave Penland, Assistant Administrator, Interagency Alternative Schools. Marisol Lopez, Student Speaker. Alex Enos, Student Representative. Thank you to all our guests for joining us today. It is also my privilege to introduce this year's student speaker. At age 11, she immigrated to the United States from El Salvador. Needless to say, this transition had its hardships. She navigated a new country, a new language, and a new culture as she made her way to TSRC Vienna. Here, I learned quickly that she is a hardworking, independent, and kind-hearted woman who has grown so much during her time here with Interagency Alternative Schools. She is a fiercely strong woman who is determined to make a difference in this world, and we all know that she will. Please welcome this year's student speaker, Marisol Lopez.
Congratulations to all the 2020 graduates. Even though this is a rough time, I want to congratulate everybody because we have made it regardless of everything that's going on right now. Be proud of yourself. Just know that you've made it this far because of your hard work. Congratulations and keep moving forward. We all have struggles in life. They're all different in many ways. However, they all affect us remarkably similar. I have had endless obstacles and struggles since I was young. My mom and my dad immigrated to this country when I was only 3 years old. Later they separated. My grandma raised me until I was 11 years old. She struggled to raise me, my two brothers and I, and help my aunts and as well as my aunts and my uncles. I was raised in a very poor rural area in El Salvador called Departamento de Cabañas. Fortunately, I was raised in a very violent and abusive environment. I know what you're thinking. You wonder why I'm saying fortunately. Let me explain. I do not wish anything that has happened to me upon anyone, especially a defenseless, innocent child. However, I have made the choice not to let all these traumas define who I am. I'd rather see them from a positive perspective. All of this has built the strong young girl I am today. I still suffer from much anxiety, depression, and PTSD, but I'm grateful, and I'm in the process of healing now. I immigrated to the United States when I was 11. The journey took a little bit over a month, and it was horrific. It was very rough, but it was all worth the pain. Why? Because the day that I decided to get out of that country is the day that the many years of sexual abuse and physical abuse stopped for me. Emotional abuse also stopped. It stopped for a while because it came back around again. At least now I have finally met my mom and my two baby sisters, and now I have a nephew, which makes me so happy. I believe that I was living in a decent life, not realizing that we only had enough money for one bedroom for my mom, my sisters, and me. And we lived under the poverty line. My mom was barely making enough money to pay the bills, send money back to El Salvador, and buy necessary resources. My first day here, I had no clothes to wear at all, or any essential things for that matter. My mom could not afford to buy clothes for me, since she was still trying to pay the debt that she had gone into when she brought me here. By the end of my first year, we had already moved rooms for at least 6 times just in that year. And it was very rough moving from one place to the other, not knowing who I will be living with. It was very strange to me because I had always lived in one place in my life. And that all the movies continue over the years, and it was very rough. I had constantly to move schools, and my sisters and I went to 4 different schools just during my high school years. It was very rough for me since I had to babysit my sisters, and I barely got to see my mom since she would work all the time. I remember I used to cry every day. Every day, the first 2 years that I got here, I was so sad. I really wanted to go back to El Salvador to take care of my brothers because they were very sad that I left them, and I felt responsible for everything they were going through. I also knew they were being abused by my uncles and my grandma. I felt responsible everything that they were going through, although I knew going back was not really an option for me. I knew that what was waiting for me over there. I was supposed to graduate 2018. About 3 months before my graduation, I dropped out and focused only on working. I officially started working when I was 14, although I had always been working all my life, you know, but officially when I was 14, I have been working ever since. I was too overwhelmed by life and endless issues I was dealing with, too depressed to prioritize school. I would have breakdowns in the school bathrooms and the hallways, and I couldn't help it. And I looked for help, you know. I tried to talk to a few people, and nobody was really much help in those days. Unfortunately, it was very hard to get some kind of reliable help. And I felt completely hopeless and helpless. I could not cope with everything that was going on. By June 2019, I found myself weighing only 100 pounds. I had not weighed that low since I was in middle school, and I was a whole 19-year-old. And I ended up living with my neighbors. I was smoking every day, going to bed crying, and I was waking up crying. I was working a very miserable job with no hopes of anything good ever happening to me. I had fallen into this hole of depression that I felt like I couldn't get out of, and it just felt eternal, like it was going on forever. I didn't believe in God. I lost completely all my faith. I was so resentful. I would ask God, why me? What did I ever do to be going through all of this, you know? And now I get it. Back then I was very resentful, and I really had no hopes of anything. I was full of anger with God. I was such in a bad place. I wanted to get out so bad, and I knew that I desperately needed to get out of there, but I didn't know how or even who to ask for help. I just felt like I had absolutely nobody, even though I was surrounded by people, and I had no clue that, you know, there was help out there, but I never asked for it because I had no idea who to ask for. I felt like my own mother didn't care about me. And I was just like, if she doesn't care about me, then, you know, why would anybody else care about me? Then God came and he smacked me in the face. And God sent all these angels my way, and I met all my friends and mentors now. There are many of them. God has sent so many angels my way, it's unbelievable. I never thought that I could meet this many people, but some names are Helen got me started in the whole process. Helen, Peter, Sue, Pastor David, may he rest in peace, Pastor Gustavo, Leticia, the Wendler, and the Cole family. I am so grateful for all of them. I can assure you I would not be where I am today if God did not send them to help me. My faith and my hopes have been renewed. I'm here to tell everyone, please don't give up. Please don't give up. I know how it is, and you want to quit. I wanted to quit every day, but here I am, and I don't want to quit anymore. I want to keep going. Even when I felt completely lost and hopeless, I remember that God has got you. There is this verse. I don't read the Bible much, but there's this verse that I always remember. It's Romans 8:28, and it says, and we know that in all things God works for the good, and He sure does. I also want to tell the victims that they can speak up about sexual abuse and all kinds of abuse. This is a huge issue all over the world, yet it's still not talked about it enough. Know that there is help out there, but of course you have to ask for the help first. Someone once told me, help yourself and God will do the rest, and He does that. You just have to give the first step and He will do the rest for you. He has the control. You will never get help if you don't speak up. Unfortunately, I've been there, and there's always hope. That's what I want everybody to know, that there's always hope. No matter what, there's hope. Never lose hope. Never let anybody take that away from you, no matter what. God has the control of your situation. Before I wanted to disappear from life, I used to say that I was living in hell. Fortunately, now I understand. I want to live. I want to go to college. I want to mark this world by making some real change. I believe that I do have a bigger purpose now, and that, I'm here to break all the vicious, terrible cycles in my families, and I know that this exists in many other families. So be the one to break the cycles and restart everything. Let's make the change we want to see. One action at a time builds a stronger result. Graduating is a huge accomplishment, especially for me, and I am the first graduate in my whole family line. For that reason and many reasons, I am so proud of myself for accomplishing everything I have achieved so far. I am proud of all the seniors that have graduated this year, especially all of us from TSRC, because regardless of everything, we are here and we made it to the finish line. I just have to say, we would have not made it with our amazing and wonderful teachers, as well as our counselor. I know I speak for everyone when I say that we appreciate you all very much, and we thank you. Thank you so much for everything, for all the support. It means the world. We would have not made it without you.
Yeah.
At this point, we would like to recognize our students who are joining the United States military. Javier Morales Cuadra and David Thompson. Thank you for your service.
Congratulations to the class of 2020 on all of your academic achievements. Ms. Knox, it is my honor and pleasure to present you the class of 2020. I certify that they have met the graduation requirements established by the Commonwealth of Virginia and the Fairfax County School Board, and I declare them eligible for graduation from Fairfax County Public Schools. Ms. Knox, the class of 2020.
Jad Abutaa. Cynthia Aguirre. Cecilia Anderson. Summer Anderson. Ryan Blevins. Ricco Broady, Jacob Carpio-Rocha, Christopher P. Coppins, Angie Corleto Ramos, Ivan Cruz Colindres, Benjamin Dacey, Dylan de Leon-Reyes, Johanna Echeveria-Castillo, Michael Edjiman, Mary Hannah Elliott, Alex Ennis, Carolina Flores, Irma Flores, Dimas Hernandez, Naila Hussain, Marie Kernan, Jacob Lee, Marisol Lopez, Marco Maldonado Villalobos, Margaret Malone, Amber Martinez, Jennifer Martinez, Edenilson Martinez Castro, Jazmin Martinez-Gonzalez, Kevin Matute Pineda, Javier Morales Cuadra, Carlos Mox Mox, Corinne Murray, Hibo Osmond, Dominique Ricard, Emily Shank, Aryana Sims, Zavion Smith, Sierra Stinger, Champ Suwan, David Thompson, Kevin Velez, Gabe Weber, Keith Wilson,
Cradle, this little device consists of 5 balls hanging from some string. Left on its own, those 5 balls will eventually return to a state of rest. The question is, does the ball want to be still, or do the forces around the ball want it to be still? What Aristotle saw in 300 BC was a ball swinging on the end of a rope trying to reach its natural state with an essential nature, almost a desire to be still. But some 2,000 years later, Sir Isaac Newton saw an inanimate object obeying the laws of nature, gravity, transfer of energy, as it comes to rest. The difference between those two perspectives is what a later scientist named Thomas Kuhn calls a paradigm shift, an expression that has become wildly popular, not just in science, but everywhere today. Don't we have a word for that when something becomes wildly popular and just sort of takes off? Yeah, we call that going viral. Anyway, a paradigm shift can be defined as a fundamental change in our approach and underlying assumptions. So you see, we have these mental constructs or worldview about the way things work, and we use that construct to help us make sense of the data and inputs surrounding us. But then things change, sometimes dramatically. Our basic assumptions no longer work, and we hit what Kuhn called a crisis. We need a new paradigm. Between Aristotle and Newton was a massive paradigm shift in science. And hasn't 2020 brought us a whole lot of change so far? I mean, it has been such a wild, wild ride that here on July 3rd, 2020, in the midst of the summer heat, if the abominable snowman, dressed in a Hawaiian shirt and flip-flops, somehow materialized through your television or your computer screen, did a little jig, handed you your diploma with his foot, and then poof, disappeared, I doubt I'd be surprised. Folks, we are in the middle of a paradigm shift. And if I had to come up with a theme for this school year, it would be go viral. A few months ago, a novel coronavirus emerged and resulted in a global pandemic, changing everything. Entire countries shut down, economies stalled. Teaching and learning shifted out of the brick and mortar classroom into virtual learning spaces. This graduation is unlike any other of the past. We have had to do some massive shifting of our mental constructs in order to navigate this pandemic. A little longer than 3 months, say about 30 years ago, the internet became publicly available, connecting Bolivia and Vietnam in an instant, resulting in globalization that has connected people in nearly every corner of the world. You could go viral on YouTube in minutes. And right now, worldwide, we grapple with race relations, equality, and equity as the Black Lives Matter movement has most certainly gone viral. We're changing out our old constructs for new ones. That's a paradigm shift. Your graduation may seem like a small event in comparison to these world events, but what better time to enter into the real world? What better time than to graduate right now? Our future story as humans needs to be written with a different mental construct. There's an opportunity to seize in these forces around you. You own a piece of our world's future. And Brené Brown tells us that when we know our story, we get to write the ending. Class of 2020, among you we have Marisol, who so eloquently told her story of abuse. Another of you has lived in over 4 different places this year alone, ranging from shelters to hotels to neighbors' couches. Another of you is the father of an infant working to support your family, and you lost your job during this pandemic. Another of you spent years wrestling with your gender identity, struggling in school with peer relationships, in and out of mental health facilities. And another of you, before you were a teenager, spent a month solo, crossing a desert in search of a better education. Each of you has a unique story, almost always with some version of trauma, certainly obstacles that you've overcome. Something brought you to alternative education, and here you are, getting ready to be a graduate. So the question is, do you dictate where you want to go? Will you write your own story? Or will the forces around you dictate for you? Well, folks, you are not an inanimate object. You are a human being with hopes and dreams and goals, a mind of your own, free will. And unlike COVID-19 and a worldwide desire to flatten the curve of exponential growth, when it comes to your dreams and your hopes, we want exponential growth. Because 2 + 2 + 2 equals 6, and 2 × 2 × 2 equals 8. 2 + 2 + 2, 20 times is 40. But 2 × 2 × 2, 20 times is 1,048,576. That's exponential growth, my friends, and that's what we want for you when it comes to your hopes and your dreams. We want you to shoot up to infinity. No flattening of your curve. So class of 2020, my parting words to you: go viral. Will the Interagency School Program Senior Class of 2020 please stand? I mean it, stand. Wherever you are, please stand. By virtue of the authority vested in me as the Administrator of Interagency Alternative School Programs, by the laws of the Commonwealth Virginia, and the governing regulations and policies of the Virginia State Department of Education and the Fairfax County School Board, I hereby confirm that the seniors of the class of 2020, whose names have been presented to us today, are now graduates. Congratulations, and you may now turn your tassels.